Hey, what's up, YouTube land? Been a long time since I made a video. It's been like super busy and just the holidays and just work and other stuff. But this video I was gonna do like my favorite albums of 2018. I know it's already March, but the cold weather where I am, it kind of feels like it's still February or something or January. But yeah, I was gonna go through like my favorite albums of the year. Let's talk about them. Listen to some Kiss Alive 2 out of this box set. I got this a couple years ago at Best Buy. It's really cool. I got Kiss one, I think Kiss 1, Kiss 2, and Kiss 4, I think. Here, it's kind of cool. Looks like a kind of like a stage setup. They would, the roadies would push their equipment in. It's really cool. I was just gonna also mention maybe the dishonorable mentions, of the year, albums I didn't really like, and then some honorable mentions, stuff that wasn't really new, that some of my favorite bands came out with anyway. I thought was really cool, and some reissues and just some. I think I got 3 reissues and like 1 live album that I dug this year. I'm just gonna kind of mention. But I'm gonna dive into the dishonorable mentions. This is like the albums of the year I didn't really care for too much. I like these bands, but I just didn't really care for their albums. Some of it just kind of sounds, just kind of, I don't know what the words like maybe rehashed or just kind of, I don't know what they're trying to do. Like, I don't know if, I understand how bands like try to reinvent themselves and kind of go for a new sound. I totally like get that. I even like Load and Reload by Metallica. I really don't hate those albums like everybody does, but these albums, I don't know, it just sounds kind of generic. Like, it seems like a lot of rock bands nowadays are just kind of going for the generic kind of thing. And this first album that I got, I was kind of disappointed, but I'm not really surprised that this band kind of went this route. Is Five Finger Death Punch. I actually did a review on this earlier on my channel. This might have been like one of my first video ever. Their album, Justice for None, which I think is kind of lame. It's kind of a take on, Metallica album, Justice for All. And, I just went too crazy about this album. I only listened to it maybe a couple times. It didn't really grow on me like I thought it would. I don't know, I just kind of thought it was tired. And I think the covers on the album is just kind of ridiculous. You hear my kitty cat in the background meowing. But I just think it's just kind of, I don't know. I just think I think it's too generic sounding, and I think it's kind of. I think the lyrics are kind of dumbed down. I feel like that's kind of. I don't know. It's kind of crappy to the fans that actually like the band. And this band really is turning into the Nickelback of metal. I mean, it's just. I don't know. It seems like trailer park rock kind of, but I don't know. I'm probably the idiot. I probably still keep buying their albums. I think the band is really talented. I think Ivan's a good singer. I like Motor Grader back in the day. I think Zoltan's an awesome guitar player, and Jason Hook. He's got a documentary on Netflix called Higher Gun that's really interesting. But I hope this band gets better. I know the drummer, Jeremy Spencer, left earlier this year or later this year, which kind of sucks. I don't know if he was kind of thinking the same thing. This band's kind of starting to suck. I don't know, but I hope they go back to their harder edge. I love the first album, Way of the Fist. I love the second album, The War is the Answer. I think it's really, those are really good albums. But it's what's too crazy about this, Maybe it's just, they have a lot of albums. Maybe they're just, I don't know. Maybe they made a couple bad albums in their career. Maybe they'll go back to what they do well. I don't know. I guess we'll see. My next album of the year I wasn't too crazy about is Disturbed Evolution. This one of the albums that I don't really hate. Maybe I don't like as much because I maybe haven't listened to it as much as some other albums. I bought a lot of CDs this year or albums. I mean, that's why I haven't really gave it like too many listens. I maybe listened to it just like maybe a couple of times. Maybe that's why I don't really care for it. But I don't know. It just sounds like Disturbed just does the same thing over and over again every album. I wish they kind of, it says evolution, but I don't think they're really evolving that much. It kind of sounds like the same old thing. I mean, I think the band is talented. I think David Draymond's a cool singer. I like the guitar player. I can't remember his name. I think the band is really good actually, but I don't know. I'm just not too sold on the music though. I think they need to like take more chances. But you know, this is just my opinion. You know, take it or leave it. But you know, maybe this I need to give this album more spins. Maybe it'll grow on me. The next album is from Godsmack, When Legend Rise. I think I did a review on this album too early this year. I just think it's another band like I think like Disturbed. They kind of like I feel like they don't really take a lot of chances. They kind of play it safe, and I feel like they lost some of their edge along the way. And I've heard people say they really love this album. I just think it's just like kind of generic like rock music, kind of like Shine Down or Puddle Mud. It's just kind of generic sounding. There's not a lot of real edge to it, you know. Like rock and roll should, you know, a little edge, a little danger. It just kind of sounds like generic bullshit. But again, that's like my opinion. But maybe like the Disturb album, maybe this will grow on me with more listens. I hear people rave about this album, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think the reviews are kind of mixed because I hear good things, I hear bad things. But you know, I don't know. I just think it's kind of generic sounding. Maybe I need to give it more listens, you know. But you know, I love their old stuff. I love the album Awake. I think that album's really good. Of course, I love the first album. But I don't know. They haven't come out with an album in a long time. I think since 2014. And I don't know. I just think their albums are just kind of forgettable. You know, I just think that the lyrics are kind of dumbed down. You know, and I don't know. I feel like I don't know what audience they're trying to reach. You know, I don't know if they're trying to reach. I don't know. Like it's just kind of insulting the fans. Kind of like Five Finger Death Punch. It's just kind of insulting the fans. I think, you know, when they dumb down their music. I feel like popular music now is just kind of dumbed down, you know. It's real insulting to people. I believe. Anyway, maybe I'm just give this album more reviews. It is very catchy. The melody and the chorus and the songs are super catchy. You know, I can see like every song on here maybe being played on the radio, on a rock radio station, if there's any such thing anymore. This next album, like I was really disappointed in this album. I love this band. Ever since I got their album Poison, I've been a fan. This album doesn't even sound like them. I know that's what I said. You know, with bands, I think you need to just kind of change your sound and evolve, and this kind of try new things, take chances. I mean, that's like the artistic, you know, credibility with bands. You know, just try new things. You know, sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. I feel like a lot of metal bands are kind of falling in with the band Bring Me the Horizon, where they're kind of doing the techno thing, they're adding that, and I think that works with Bring Me the Horizon, but I don't think it works with this band, and that band is Bullet from a Valentine with the album Gravity. I got this early in the year, and I maybe listened to it a handful of times. I just can't get into it, you know. I just kind of I dig some of the songs. I mean, there is guitar and there's some heaviness to it, but as a whole, I just wasn't too crazy about this album, you know. The heaviest song is Crawling, and it was like a bonus track from Target. I hope they go back to their sound. I know there's some band members leaving. I think the drummer left, maybe the bass player left. I think the drummer has a new band. I can't remember. I want to say The Lights Are Out, this band's name. I can't remember, but I heard they're Kill the Lights. I think that's their band. I heard they're really good. I haven't listened to them yet. But I don't know. I don't. Like I said with the Godsmack and the Five Finger Death Punch, I don't know what audience they're trying to reach with this. They're trying to get a wider audience. I just don't think it. Like I said, I think it's just kind of insulting to the fans. I love their stuff. Maybe they'll do like albums like this and then go back to the heaviness. You know, I don't know. You know how it works, but like I said, I mean, there are some songs that are catchy. I think this band is talented. You know, I'm not saying they're not talented. I'm not saying they suck. I'm just saying I don't really dig this album. That's all I'm saying. But I don't know. Like I said, albums that keep coming out sound like this. I probably won't buy any more albums from them. But you know, like I said, in 5 years, I might really like this album. It might grow on me like Temper has, and Fever growing on me over the years. But I really like the last album, Venom. I thought that album was badass. You know. But I think it kind of mixed their old stuff with the new stuff. But I know I just wasn't digging this album. But it's kind of my dishonorable mention of 2018. This album, the legendary artist, you know, He's actually in the band that's playing in the background. I loved his album, Anomaly. I thought it was awesome. I love his solo album, his first solo album he did when he was still in Kiss in 1977. You know, where they had all their different. Each member of Kiss came out with a different solo album on the same day. I think his is the best. It's awesome. But this album, it just flat out blows. Like, I didn't really like it at all. And I don't know. I think that it's like the guitar playing this kind of sucks, and the lyrics are kind of corny. And it's this album, Spaceman. I was kind of really disappointed. I got this at Target. I just wasn't. You know, when I bought Anomaly, I was really surprised how good it was. And this album, I don't know. I just can't get into it. It's just kind of corny. Like all my other albums that I bought this year, I'm just gonna keep see if I can get into it. You know, keep listening. Maybe it'll grow on me. But that's what's too crazy about it. I don't know. I don't know if Ace don't really give a shit anymore. Maybe he's like, you know, people buy my album anyway if you're a Kiss fan. But I wasn't too crazy about it. Like I said, like all my other dishonorable mentions, I probably just listened to it a couple of times because I was busy listening to my favorite albums of 2018, which I'm about to get into. But I don't know. Like I said, I didn't buy his last two albums, but I did buy Anomaly. Of course, I still listen to his first solo album with Kiss that he did back in. Sorry, my kitty cat's playing with their toy. If you hear it in the background, but I don't know. I just wasn't too crazy about it. Maybe it'll grow on me. Like I said, the last one I got kind of late in the year. It's not like it's not a bad album. I think the instruments and everything are really cool, but I just couldn't really get into the guy's voice. But maybe it'll grow on me, you know. Like, don't be pissed at me, you know. Like, there might be some metal fans pissed at me, but I do like this band. I do have two of their albums on vinyl, but I'm talking about Metal Church. I know this album got 5 stars on Amazon, and I wanted to check it out. Their album, Damn If You Do. I only listened to it one time. That's not really, I guess, like a good thing to do, a dishonorable mention. But I'm going to keep listening to this album, see if it grows on me. The band is awesome, though. I just can't get into the guy's voice. Maybe it'll grow on me. I don't know. This band's been around for a long time. I do like their first album. I know Stone Sour did a cover of their song The Dark, which is really cool. But I'm going to keep this one a try. I mean, this one might grow on me. It's definitely more rocking than any of that stack that I just showed you. More metal than that stack I just showed you. These guys could teach some new bands something, but maybe I just sound like a dinosaur or something talking. But I'm going to keep listening to this, see if it grows on me. This next stack is... they weren't new albums, so I didn't want to include in my list of my favorite albums of 2018, but these are just kind of reissues, and one's like a live album. And the first is the reissue of Anthrax's State of Euphoria. This is really cool. It's got some a second disc of like B-sides, and this like it's got a cover of Kiss's Parasite on here, but it's really cool inside. Got a little picture. It's got a booklet, you know, telling about the you know, kind of the Anthrax period. Got them in Ripped, and I think it showed them on tour with like I think it was Primus and Public Enemy and Living Colour. That was a really cool show. Kind of underrated Anthrax album. They kind of been reissuing these. They reissued Spreading the Disease, and I didn't get that one, but I do have the reissue of Among the Living. But I always liked the artwork. I always thought the artwork was cool. I think on the back, I think this artwork is done by the artist that did Mad Magazine. I think that, but I'm not sure that's true. But I think this year they're going to come out with a reissue of Priestesses of Time, but I'm not sure. That's what I heard. I was listening to a podcast, and they had the guy that does this for Anthrax talking about it, which is really cool. But you got some classics on here. Of course, you got the Antisocial, which I think Steve Harris from Iron Maiden actually wrote, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I always like the Finale. I always thought that was a cool song. Be All In All, which is cool. Out of Sight, Out of Mind. Make Me Laugh. Who Cares Who Wins. All these awesome albums. They got the French version of Antisocial where it's in French, which I think is really cool. They got a second disc of I think Live, and it's Charlie's Archives. I guess demo versions of the songs, which are cool. What was I gonna say? I mean, they remixed the album, and I think it just kind of I thought in kind of in my old version, of this album that I feel like the guitars are in the back. They totally put the guitars up in front. You can totally hear it. The album is just like kind of a monster now. I've been playing on my stereo and it just sounds great. So glad I got this. It sounds awesome. It sounds really, really cool. Kind of when you get a reissue, you really can't tell a difference when they say they remix it, but I can tell a difference with this. It sounds great. My next reissue, another one of my favorite bands, another classic album, Justice for All. They've been doing this. I did this with like Ride the Lightning. They did with Master of Puppets. I got that one last year. Now I got this one in Justice for All. I can't really tell it. It sounds better, but I really can't tell a difference with the mix. They said they put the bass back in it, but I haven't really listened to demos and rough mixes yet. But like just like the state of Euphoria, it's got got pictures and got the band. I think the CDs look really cool, and look how young they look. Of course, first album with Jason Newsted. Of course, a classic. I love the song "Justice for All." I love "To Live Is to Die," "Dyer's Eve." "Freed into Sanity" is really cool. Cool stuff. Really cool reissue. I don't know if this came out this year, but I got this year. It might have came out last year or the year before that, and that's Pentair's "Far Behind Driven." They've been come out with these two. Cowboy. I got the Cowboys one. I don't have the Voger one yet. I have this one, and then I think they came out with the Great Southern Trendkill maybe last year or the year before that. If they said they're going to come out reinventing this still, I'd like to get that one eventually. But this is cool. It got a live album, live in Donington. Let's remix like they always do. I always like the artwork to this. I don't know if you've ever seen the original artwork. I think it got banned, but I always loved this album. I always thought it was cool. Really heavy. They just kept going heavy and heavier, with each album. But I remember this album coming out when I was 14 and going to Blockbuster Music, if you can believe that, and just kind of seeing the big display, and it's like, wow, what is that band? And just me getting into them. One of my favorite bands still to this day. I can't believe that both the Abbott brothers are dead, but awesome band, classic metal band. The last is like a live album. This is it's kind of like I don't think I've ever seen this before, and it's Rob Zombie Astro Creep 2000 live. Rob Zombie kind of doing one of his classic albums from White Zombie live. That's the first time I've heard him with his band now. John 5 is just a monster and guitar player, but they did the whole album live. Nothing extra or anything like that. It sounds amazing. John 5 does a great job with the songs live. It seemed like it would kind of be hard to recreate some of these guitar sounds live, but I think they're great. Great album. Really cool. One of my favorite albums ever, is Astro Creep, and I think the band Rob Zombie's got now is really, really good. This is great. I was kind of surprised how good this sounds. It's kind of like, It's kind of just got it because I'm a fan of Rob Zombie and I love White Zombie, but I'm so glad I got this. Very, very cool. Well, now I'm going to get into the my favorite albums of the year in no particular order. I don't think it's like a top 10. I think I just kind of grabbed my favorite one. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, my top 12, I guess. No top 10, no. And I'm just going to kind of pull from the back, and this is going to be my 12th favorite, and then go down, from there. This is an album. This is a band I love. I saw them a couple years for the first time. I love since the 90s. The lead singer, Pepper, hasn't been in the band for a while. I think this is the first album he made. He came back and made with them for a while. And I didn't listen to it as much as I did when I first bought it, or as much as the other albums, but I still think this is a great album. That's Corrosion to Conformity's No Cross, No Crown. Solid album. The artwork kind of looks like they did like a vinyl record. Very, very cool. Cool artwork. Sounds like old Corrosion, if you know what Corrosion sounds like. Kind of a mix between Black Sabbath, Metallica, and Leonard Skinner. Very, very cool. I love Pepper's voice. I'm glad he's back in the band. I'm going to have to pop this back in because I haven't listened to it in a while. But I thought that I dug this album. I think it's a return to form. Very, very cool. I mean, this is what I love about Corrosion. My favorite albums by them is Blind and Deliverance, and Wishblood. Or I'm sorry, Wise Blood. But very cool album. My number 12 album of the year, 2018. My next album, this is kind of like a super group. This is actually their second album. I don't have their first one. I'd like to. And that album is Metal Alliance. We have Mike Portnoy on drums from Dream Theater or Extreme Theater, and I'm not sure. I can't remember what other bands he was in. I can't remember some of his punk bands he's in. You got Dave Ellison from Megadeth. You got Alex Skolnick from Testament, and different lead singers on each song. But this is the second Metal Alliance Volume 2, Power Drunk Majesty, which is pretty awesome. Really cool. We got some really cool guest vocalists on here, and this guest musician's very, very cool. I think I like the first one better, but this one's really solid. I really think it's really cool they got John Bush from Anthrax on one of these songs. I'll kind of like go the song list and the singer. You got The Accuser featuring Trevor Strand. I'm not really familiar with him. I don't know if that's the guy from shit, my mind's going blank. What is that band? They're in the back of my head, but anyway. The second song, Bound by Silence, has got John Bush, of course, Anthrax, Armored Saint. You got Mother of Sin featuring Bobby Blitz, from Overkill. Terminal Illusion featuring Mark Tornino. I think that might be is that the singer from Death Angel? King with the Paper Crown featuring Jonah Hick. I'm not really sure who that is. Voodoo of the Godsend featuring Max Cavalera, of course. Sepultura, Soulfly. Liars and Thieves featuring Troy Sanders from Mastodon. I think he's on the first album too. Impulsive Control, featuring Mark Abbas. I think that's the guy from Dark Angel. Power Drunk Mastery Part 1, featuring Mark. Well, of course, from Death Angel again. You got Power Drunk Mastery 2, featuring Flora Jensen. I think that's the lead singer from In Flames, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't listened to this as much as the first one. But I got this on CD. I love that I get the first one because it's got a lot of great singers. But that's my 11th album of the year. Great, solid metal album. This one's got a lot of controversy. A lot of fans didn't like this album, and it pretty much broke up the band. I mean, I know the band is still continuing, but I think without the key members that left, I think it's gonna be interesting to see where this band goes, because the band members that left are I think they made some classic metal albums in the 2000s. I'm talking about Machine Head with their album Callous. I actually enjoyed this album. I didn't really enjoy the rap. I'm not a big rap guy, and I like a little bit, but not a lot. But I know this album's got a lot of shit, but I actually dug this album. I saw them live on this tour, and they were like amazing. First time I've seen them live. But I'm so glad I finally got to see them. Actually, I was going to go see him in 2014. I actually took off of work. It was on a Friday. They had Trill and Labonum opening up for him and a whole other metal bands, and I was really excited. And they canceled. But awesome album. I actually really enjoyed this. Not my favorite. I love The Blackening, Burn My Eyes. I even like Bloodstone and Diamonds. I thought that was a great album. Onto the Locust was awesome. But I didn't hate this album. And then put on Facebook that I like it, and I kind of got some shit from it. But they got some Beyond the Pale. That's just like a badass song, and it sounds good live. I think some of these songs kind of remind me of Slipknot. I don't know if Rob Flynn was trying to do that, but like I said, I don't hate this album. I haven't listened to it as much as when I first got it. I remember it would jam in my car, but anyway, there are some kind of clunkers. I don't like the song Bastards, but still, I think it's a decent album. I think they could do worse, but I hate that key members left. I think that's kind of shitty. I don't know if Rob Flynn's kind of an egotistical maniac, or I don't know. But I still like this album. My number 10 of the year. My number 9 of the year. This is kind of another super group. It's got Howard Jones from Killswitch Engage. I think some members from Fear Factory, if I'm not mistaken, and they were called Devil You Know, and they changed their name to Light the Torch. I don't know why, and this album is called Revival, and this album is awesome. One of my favorite metal albums of the year, number 9 of the year. This album is just like super catchy, super heavy. It's pretty metalhead, totally. Like Killswitch, get that. Always love Howard Jones' voice. I'm not like, I like Killswitch better with Howard Jones. I like Killswitch better with Jesse. I'll take them either way. They're a great band. Now you got two great bands. This album is really solid. I can't wait to hear what they do next. I think this is way better than Devil, But very very cool. My number was it 9 album, I think. The next one, I was kind of surprised. I love this band. They kind of broke up for a while and got back together, and they released the album Long Live in 2015. This album's called In Your Wake. I think I did a review about it. I was kind of surprised how good this album is. It's got some heaviness, but it's not as heavy as the other stuff. It's really catchy. I don't want to say like emo, but it kind of surprised me how good this album is. Really solid album by Atreyu. Really really cool. Really surprised me how good this album was. It's really really catchy. When I first got it, I was listening to it all the time. I always thought the cover was cool, kind of the gore thing. But very cool album. I actually got it at Target. I can't believe it. Once I got it, I haven't seen it again. But really cool album. Always loved this band. Always thought the musicianship was awesome. Always thought they do really really. Also, they write really really good songs, catchy songs. I've seen them live twice, and they were really good. But like I said, number 9, number 8 album of the year. This I got kind of recently, and I was kind of surprised how good this album was. It kind of went back to the roots, kind of their heaviness. Sadly, their guitar player Oli drowned, and I've seen him live a couple times, either open up for a band or I went and saw him. And that is All That Remains album, Victim of the New Disease. Solid album. This kind of like a throwback to their heaviness, and this might be their heaviest album ever. I mean, it's just kind of. I was really surprised how good this was. Like I said, I got it kind of late in the game, late in the year. I mean, the song. I think all the songs is kind of crushed. Might be one ballad song on here, but for the most part, this album is awesome. Just put it on my stereo and crank it to 11. Very very cool. One song's got Danny Worship from. I think he's from Asking Alexandria, if I'm not mistaken. But cool album. Really surprised how much I like this. It's kind of one of my newer albums. I just got it maybe a month or two ago, but I really, really liked it. Number 7, I think we're at number 7. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think we're at number 7. I love this band since I was a teenager. One of the first bands I ever got into. Sadly, the original lead singer Scott Weiland died in was it 2017, 2016? It might be 2015. And of course, they got Chester Bennington from Linkin Park for a while to sing for them. Now they have a new singer. I can't remember where he's from, but this is a new album, self-titled Sons of the Pilots, which is kind of confusing because 2010 they came out with an album with Scott Weiland called Sons of the Pilots. But this album is really solid. I really enjoyed it. Even my wife has liked it. We listen to it all the time. I love Sons of the Pilots. I always have. I think they're one of the better grunge bands. I hate that word grunge. They're one of the better rock bands in the 90s. We'll just say that. Because I hate grunge. Because none of the grunge bands sound alike. Anyway, awesome, solid album. I actually got this one at Best Buy. I got some bonus tracks. I don't think Best Buy even sells CDs anymore, which is kind of weird. I really like The Art of Letting Go. The Finest Hours is a great song. Kind of a mellow, chilled CD. It's definitely not as heavy as the other albums that I got, but I just really, really enjoy this album. I listen to as much as I have all these other metal albums, and it's just kind of a cool album. My wife's not a metalhead like me, so I'll throw this on to kind of chill out, and she likes it. I actually got 2 sent to me by mistake, and I gave her one, and I'm kind of glad I got this one with bonus tracks. Very cool. I can't wait to see what they do. The lead singer they got now kind of reminds me of Scott Weiland. Kind of looks like a young Scott Weiland. He's a great singer. I was kind of worried at first, but I think they're great. This album did decent too, so that's good. They'll keep on trucking. So very cool. Sons of the Pilots. My next, I kind of really this album's kind of been mixed reviews. I kind of really enjoyed this album. I think the songs are catchy. It's not as heavy as some of their other albums. This is their 4th solid album. They released a couple EPs. This band's kind of new to me. I know they've been around since 2010, maybe earlier than that. I know a lot of people go crazy for this band. I really enjoy them. I think they write some really good songs. They're just a good band. it's kind of a breath of fresh air, you know, from all the different kind of metal. Talking about Ghost prequel. I thought this album was really solid. I love that it's got the kind of horror movie kind of imagery, and I love that the lead singer just kind of does these kind of weird costumes and stuff. I think it's just kind of brings a breath of fresh air. They kind of sound like, if you haven't heard them, they look like they would be like a black metal band, but they kind of sound like a heavier Blue Oyster Cult, like Merciful Fate mixed with Blue Oyster Cult. I love the song Rats. The song Faith is pretty heavy. See the Light is cool. Very, very. I know this album's got mixed reviews. I don't like it as much as the other albums, but I did dig it. I've been listening to it a lot this year. I do really dig this album. So my number 6, Prequel by Ghost. My next album, this band's been around since the 70s, maybe 60s. And I was really surprised. I just kind of bought it because I'm a fan. I was not expecting much from this band. And they really just kind of surprised me. This is a solid album. I was kind of blown away when I heard it. And I'm talking about Judas Priest, Firepower. This is just a solid album. I mean, this album will rock your face off. I was really surprised how good this is. I've seen this on a lot of best of lists, and this is a solid album. Every song is good. They're on the top of their game, you know. Of course, KK Downing's not in the band, and Glenn Tipton's, I think he, I can't remember. I know he's sick and left the band. I can't remember what's wrong with them, but the new guitar player Richie, and I think the other guitar player is Andy Sneap, the producer, if I'm not mistaken. But solid album. Every song is good. I cranked this up to 11. I was playing the other day. My wife's like, "Who is this?" And I was like, "It's Judas Priest." She's like, "Wow, it's so heavy." That's pretty cool. In this day and age, they've been around as long as they have. 2018, they're still rocking. Well, it's 2019, but anyway, really solid album. My number 4 album, very cool, of 2018, very cool. This is another album that really surprised me. This album is super heavy. The lead singer left, I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago, and I wasn't really expecting much. This is on sale at Best Buy, and I kind of just, I like this band. I'm going to check it out. It's on sale for like $8, so I wasn't really missing anything. I was like, cool, well, I'll check this album out. And I was really surprised. It ended up being one of my favorite albums of 2018. That is Mice and Men, Defy. Very, like, awesome album. Every song is kind of diverse, and it's kind of, some of the songs are a mix between Killswitch Engage, Linkin Park, and Pentair. Very cool stuff. I know the lead singer Austin left because he had health issues, but I think the bass player sings, and I think he does a really good job. And these are some of the most solid songs I think they'd have in the discography. This might be my favorite album by them. They do a cover of Pink Floyd's Money. I'm not too crazy about it. It's not bad, but it's not great either. So I thought they kind of maybe put a song that maybe one of the originals, maybe it'd be better than that. But there's some heavy stuff. Instincts is a heavy song. Back to Me kind of reminds me of Linkin Park. Vertigo's a cool song. You can tell that their influence are like just flowing. This is kind of super heavy songs, but really catchy. This kind of I don't think like some hardcore metalers from like back in the day would like it. It's kind of like some new, I don't want to say hipster metal, but it's just kind of like the newer metal. But I really, for me, I kind of in between. I really dug this album. I thought it was heavy, but it was catchy. I think this is the album that Bullet for My Time should have made, not what they made. But I hope Mice and Men keeps rocking out. This is good stuff right here. Solid album. Their album, Defy. The next two, it was kind of hard to choose in between these two because I thought they were both great. I think I'm going to go with this one. I think I listened to this one more than the first one, my number 1 album of 2000. But just because it's been out since last January. But I love this artist. Of course, he plays with Ozzy. He plays guitar with Ozzy. He's got his band Black Label Society. I think they really solid albums. I think this is one of his best albums, if not his best. I think it's great. I know they did a review when it came out on Overkill Reviews. Is Overkill Reviews? That's on the Banger TV channel that Sam Dunn does. And the guy kind of gave it a shit review, and I really understand that because I think the album's great. It's got ballads, it's got rockers. It sounds like Pantera mixed with Black Sabbath. Everything you would want from Zakk Wylde. And I'm talking about his album Greatest Hits from January of last year. I think this album is so solid. I think every song is cool. To me, it sounds like a mixture of Black Sabbath, Soundgarden, Pantera. The ballads kind of remind me of Allman Brothers. That's what you come to expect from Zakk Wylde. I think he's got some really strong songs in here. I love the song Room of Nightmares. Kind of reminds me of that time in the 90s when you have all these groove metal bands like White Zombie, Pantera, Machine Head. It just kind of reminds me of that time. And I love that. It's kind of got that nostalgia factor in it. And I think it's the best songs he's written in a long time. I like this a lot better than Catacombs of the Black Vatican. And I can't wait to see what he does with Ozzy. I hope they just come out with a kick-ass solid record. But my number 2 in 2018, very, very cool. I've been listening to this like nonstop. I never get tired of it. Very, very cool. Someone kind of reminds me of Soundgarden. Kind of like the Super Unknown Motorfinger era. And I think that's really cool because that's my favorite era. And that's one of my favorite bands, Soundgarden. But very cool album. I knew it would be good, but I didn't think it would be this solid. I'm so glad he did. Very cool. If you like Black Label Society and you haven't got this, definitely pick it up. This is my number 1 album, 2018. I've only had it since September, October, I think. And this is another album I didn't really expect. I knew it would be good. This is one of my favorite bands ever. And that's not why I chose it. I think it's a solid album. I was kind of surprised. I wasn't really expecting it to be this good, but I really enjoyed this album this year. I think they're doing new things. You know, the band had been around this long, and they're still doing really exciting, kind of cool things. There's some really solid songs on here by Jerry and Co. Very, very cool album. This album came out and you didn't really hear much from it. It just kind of disappeared. But very, very cool stuff. Sorry, my CD skipping. That is Alice in Chains' Rainier Fog. I just really enjoyed this album. I think the songs are really, really good. They're heavy, but they're catchy. It's kind of like a mixture of all their discography in one album. I think William Dafoe is a great addition to the band. Of course, I miss Lane Stanley, but sadly he passed away in 2002. But this is really solid. I think I like this better than Dinosaur. The Devil Put Dinosaurs here, but I was kind of leery about like what direction they would go. When they got William Duvall, but I've stand corrected. I think they've released some solid stuff, and they keep going in the new and exciting directions. I think the one I think that's the hit. I wasn't too crazy about that song. Rainier Fog is a really cool song. I like the drone song. That kind of weird, odd time signature is really cool, and I just the song's really catchy. Like I said, all these songs are good. If you're Alice in Chains fan, you'll have this. I really enjoyed this album this year. I can't wait to hear new stuff. I hope it's not as long in between the albums as it was. Since The Devil Put Dinosaurs here, that was like 2013, 2018. Now it's 2019. But really cool. I know they're coming to town this summer with Korn and Under the Oath. I think that'd be a great show. I might have to catch that show. But very cool. Really, really like this album. The artwork's cool. Kind of a weird name. When I first heard the album, I thought that was kind of strange, but I love this album. My number 1 album. It's kind of hard between this and Grimace Hits. They kind of got the same vibe, kind of like a Sabbath vibe. I got my Sabbath shirt on, but very cool. I really enjoyed this album. Of course, we can get with Alice in Chains. You're gonna get a solid rock metal album. Very cool. So that's my list for 2018, 2019. Sorry it took so long. I was gonna do some more videos. I'm just gonna do my favorite movies from 2018 too. That might be a short list because I bought a lot of old movies. But yeah, I'm going to start putting more videos on here. Hope you enjoy it. That's my list. That's just my opinion. I didn't hear every album that came out this year. There's some albums that I didn't get this year that I wanted. I wanted to get the new Seven Dust. I've heard it maybe 1 or 2 times. I did like it. I just haven't bought it yet. I want to. There's some other albums I wanted to get, but I can't remember. But I'm sure I'll mention them in other videos. But cool, man. Cheers.